Spotlight is proudly sponsored by HEC Media, St. Louis's home for arts, education, and culture.
The storytelling device is ubiquitous.
It's an important event for chess fans around the world.
We are only interested in the best innovation.
Today on Spotlight, bringing together innovative companies and healthcare providers across the country for healthcare workforce shortage solutions. Plus, the largest exhibition the World Chess Hall of Fame has ever done, how chess masters mastered the game. And then a page-turning thriller that wouldn't have happened until an author's readers demanded it. But first, he captivates audiences by telling them stories, and he's done it all over the world. We sit down with Bobby Norfolk. It's Sunday, and you're watching the multiple Emmy Award-winning Spotlight. On this episode of the Classroom Matters podcast, host Christy Houle chats with internationally recognized teaching and recording artist, actor, TV host, and storyteller Bobby Norfolk. Bobby's innate ability to read and connect with audiences of all ages makes him one of America's premier storytellers. Using dynamic movement and vocal effects, he creates vibrant characters who come to life through imaginative, creative story.
How did this really start with you as a kid?
I had no idea I would be a storyteller or an actor ever, because from kindergarten to the 10th grade, I stuttered. I stuttered terribly. Every time I opened my mouth, I would, and I was bashful and shy anyway, and so the stuttering even gave me more anxiety. And so I retreated into books. And I thought if I walked around school with books in my face, nobody would ask me to talk. Wrong. I had these people walking up and down the halls of my school, and they were called teachers. And so these teachers saw things in me I didn't see in myself. And that is the mark of a master teacher. See inside the student who hasn't found their gifts and their worths. And they put me in drama class, glee club, choral, talent shows, poetry recitals. Whenever I performed, I wouldn't stutter. Left stage, left the podium, stuttering came back. Then by 10th grade at Charles Sumner High School, my drama teacher said, "Young man, why don't you study some meditation techniques?" And I said, "I'm with that." And within 3 months, the stuttering stopped. And so becoming writer and reader was the foundation of me being a storyteller. And so everything else was a progression. It had a snowball effect after that.
You know, as a child, our parents would tell us bedtime stories, and they would just make stories up, or they might read a storybook to us. And it seems that over the last decade, 2 decades, that is not done as much as it used to be. Why do you think that has changed so much? And why is storytelling sort of something that you just don't see as much as you really should? What's the barrier? Why are we not doing more of that?
Other than that generational gap, that sometimes the adults are so busy trying to make a living, they forget how to live. And they give the children sort of as a babysitter these handheld devices that are worked with thumbs. That becomes a storyteller. And so the handheld devices that works with the 2 thumbs can be a blessing and a curse. And so there's nothing that is going to be more powerful than sitting the children down and telling them a story. Lawyers use storytelling to convince the judge and the jury. Professional businessmen in the corporate world, when they do professional development, they use storytelling to sell products and to sell their ideas. It's not just about school. The storytelling device is ubiquitous. Billy Joel is a storyteller. Sir Elton John is a storyteller. So it's inescapable. And the idea that you can get away from telling stories is it's a fault.
Anything you could leave us with before we say goodbye?
This is the tale of some goats and a troll. The troll lived under a bridge, you know. He guarded that bridge every night and day. He gobble you up if you went that way. But the grass was green on the other side. The goats decided to give it a try. The little Billy goat was the first that day.
Catch Bobby at the St. Louis Storytelling Festival, taking place October 13th through the 22nd. Visit slcl.org for more info. Connect your students to Bobby Norfolk with his on-demand interactive program available to schools and homeschool groups through our educational website, educate.today. Meet Bobby, view a storytelling performance, and ask your questions. Find out more at educate.today. Use the keyword Bobby Norfolk.
First person, real world, expert driven. That's the focus of the videos, lesson plans, and activity ideas you'll find at our educational website, educate.today.
BioSTL will pull out all the stops for a thriving innovation economy in the St. Louis region.
For us to build a successful innovation economy, we need to be globally connected. And if you're on the East Coast and the West Coast, you're just naturally globally connected. But here in the Midwest, we have to take a very deliberate effort to that.
That's where Vijay Chauhan steps in. He's the lead for GlobalSTL, the international recruitment arm of the nonprofit BioSTL. BioSTL programs are designed to solve important world challenges. GlobalSTL plays a major role.
Make St. Louis a magnet for top global innovation that is coming to the United States, but doesn't think about St. Louis as a place to go and do their business. The areas we chose were the areas where we have significant strength as a region. Healthcare is one of those areas.
By hosting annual health innovation summits like this one, GlobalSTL is fulfilling its mission.
If you line up all the healthcare organizations that are headquartered in St. Louis, BJC, SSM, Mercy, Centene, Express Scripts, all of these folks, they have combined revenues of about $360 billion. That's more than Boston, Cleveland, Philadelphia, Chicago, Nashville, you name it. But these innovators didn't know any of that. We have more buying power that they want to access. They just didn't know anything about it.
This year, the focus is on workforce innovation to offer solutions for the healthcare workforce crisis.
This is such a big crisis, and they're all desperately looking for solutions.
Held on the campus of Washington University in St. Louis, the summit brings together health systems from across the country.
We have 32 healthcare organizations from 16 states
to share ideas and learn new ideas from some of the world's top innovators.
Sustainability.
And here, Mercy shares insights about an innovation the healthcare system created to help solve its own nursing shortages system-wide.
We're not just solely focused on those 12-hour shifts. We're breaking them up into 4, 6, 8-hour blocks to support that work-life balance for many of our nurses.
It's an app for Mercy nurses to pick up the shifts that work best for their lives.
It's available to our in-house coworkers, but also to this new role that we've created called the gig worker, so the on-demand worker. And we consider all of those types of coworkers to be Mercy employed.
And tech companies pitch their platforms.
We have over 100,000 W-2 clinicians that use our app looking for their next shift.
And it's saying here are all the 15 nursing opportunities this week across these different health systems, and I can give this for 2 hours, and they tell me what the rate is. And I say, yeah, I think I can do that.
There are apps that even connect services for nurses who need childcare, or in the case of Uber Health, rides.
Uber Health says, we'll give you a free ride, book it right then. All of a sudden, I'm activating this latent workforce that today cannot work full-time, but can work in these narrow slices that works for them, and you add it all up. We call this activating the latent healthcare workforce.
Shifts here and there.
This company's unique solution is getting attention. MedArrive technology gives healthcare a boost by providing access to a network of EMTs and paramedics.
Even before MedArrive, it was very common for EMTs and paramedics to have 2 or 3 jobs at once, right? They're working in long-term care facilities on weekends, moonlighting at the high school football game on Friday night.
MedArrive gives the skilled healthcare workers a new way to help people.
A subset of patient populations that are hard to find, hard to reach, hard to engage. We're delivering high quality, more convenient care for the patient in their home.
Promoting healthier lives, healthier communities, and takes the burden off hospitals.
Any healthcare organization, they come to us and they use our platform to build out these care programs. And then finally, we are re-engaging this patient back with a primary care provider.
GlobalSTL invites solutions that are likely to have the most success.
And we are only interested in the best innovation. Why do I want that? I want our St. Louis corporations to be the acquirers, not the acquired.
Scan the QR code on your screen to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
We're at the World Chess Hall of Fame celebrating the 50th anniversary of Bobby Fischer winning the World Chess Championship in our new exhibition, 1972, Fischer-Spassky, The Match, Its Origin and Influence. It's an important event not only for American chess, but also for chess fans around the world. And we're really excited to be celebrating the legacies of 2 legendary players, Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky. This is the largest exhibition we have ever done at the World Chess Hall of Fame. We have over 500 artifacts from Bobby's birth until his death in 2008. This exhibition really looks at who Fischer and Spassky were as people. Why were they the greatest chess players in the world? What got them to there? After World War II, there was a big change in the chess world where Soviets had made chess part of their political training. So they'd invite workers to play chess, soldiers to play chess, and it became a huge cultural phenomenon. And as a result, they had some of the best players from around the world. On the other hand, Bobby Fischer grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and he had more of an informal education, whereas Boris Spassky had a trainer, he had a stipend from age 10, he was supporting his whole family. The 1972 World Chess Championship is unique partly because of these political tensions that existed between the US and the Soviet Union. Bobby and Boris weren't just moving chess pieces on the board, they were symbols of their respective countries. So even today people remember it, maybe as their entry to chess, maybe they didn't even take up the game, but they remember these 2 characters clashing over the board. Bobby Fischer won the World Chess Championship, ending 24 years of Soviet domination of the title. It's still relevant today because Bobby's influence on the game is so huge, not just as a winner of the World Chess Championship, but also as a player, a writer, and a contributor to the game. Our first floor gallery looks at the origin of how he became one of the greatest chess players in America. Our second floor focuses solely on 1972. You can see original furniture that are reproductions from where Bobby and Boris actually played in Iceland. And we have the actual chess set that Bobby and Boris played on in Game 3. Then we conclude on Gallery 3 with what happened after 1972. What was the impact of the match, and what were Fischer and Spassky doing after that? This exhibition is on view until April 30th, 2023. For more information about it and our related programming, visit our website at www.worldchesshof.org.
An Emmy-nominated story about a TikTok star, later on Spotlight.
Novelist Lisa Jewell is famous for writing page-turning thrillers with intricate plots that mesmerize readers. The prolific author has released her newest book, The Family Remains. Jewell plunges readers into a dark world of long-buried family secrets and spine-chilling murders. The Family Remains is a standalone sequel to Jewell's previous book, The Family Upstairs. Jules says she never intended to write a sequel, but her readers demanded it.
And then my inbox started filling up with messages and comments from readers saying, there will be a sequel, won't there? Tell me there's a sequel coming. Is a part 2 coming? You are going to write another one, aren't you? And then at some point, I just thought, you know what? Why not? It could actually be really good fun.
And for readers, it's a wild ride.
So The Family Remains begins with the discovery of a bag of bones on the shores of the River Thames. And detectives are called to the scene, and the detective investigation leads DC Samuel Owusu to this abandoned mansion in Cheyne Walk in Chelsea, where he slowly uncovers a terrible story of something that happened in that house 30 years previously, which ties into the characters from the first book, but also introduces some new characters into the second book, and thus it commences.
I don't know if you've ever gone on and looked at your reviews.
Oh, yes.
But people absolutely love it. It's gotten the warmest reception. Yeah. So now I feel like it's safe to kind of go back. Were you nervous at all? Like, walk us through, like, what was going on before you knew how your audience was going to receive this book.
I was really, really nervous. Before I started writing, I think I was more nervous before I started writing it, because I was going off-piste, because I was going out of my comfort zone, and my comfort zone is to write a whole fresh new novel every year. And I have written a sequel before, but it was many, many years ago, and it was very different because it was the second part of a love story, which didn't feel like there was quite so much sort of pressure to recreate anything. And I was terrified that I was going to make a mess of it, because it's a different skill set. You're having to think in a very different way the whole way through the writing of the book, because you're constantly aware of the fact that someone could be reading the book who hasn't read the first book, like yourself, or equally, you're aware of the fact that someone could be reading the book having read and adored The Family Upstairs and having massively high expectations. So I was really, really nervous going into it.
And I think one of the things that I love about your writing the most is that you have these cast of characters and you clearly care about them and love, I won't say all of them, but you love a lot of your characters. But your characters go through really terrible things. Yes. What is that like to love a character so much and then also write them into sometimes such misery?
Yeah, well, but the thing is, when I set off on these journeys, I know within the genre that I write that bad things are going to happen to the characters who I love, and I know that at certain points I'm going to have to write terrible things happening to them and put them through agonizing experiences. But what I have found, it might sound quite heartless, but from my point of view as a writer, the worst thing for me, much worse than inflicting awful things on my lovely characters, is not to have written the thing that I needed to write in order to bring the story onto the next stage. So I feel much, much happier having written these sort of brutal, awful, cruel scenes than I would if I had failed to write them. Does that make any sense?
It totally makes sense.
So as much as it's, as a reader, when you're reading what's happened to a character that you've just, got to know over however many pages, and that's quite upsetting, for me, it's just business as usual, which sounds awful, but it's kind of what I do for a living, and it's what I have to do.
To find out why she writes 1,000-page novels without having a plan for the story before she begins, watch the full interview at hecmedia.org.
HEC Media. Recognized, celebrated, honored time and again for excellence in the industry. HEC Media has been bringing home the hardware for over a decade. Arts and education to author talks, magazine shows and documentaries, individual craft achievements to overall excellence. Find all of the award-winning content at hecmedia.org.
We're at Webster Arts in Webster Groves, Missouri, and our current exhibit is Force of Nature. This is an exploration of the power and majesty of the natural world. In this particular exhibit, we're going to see a variety of mediums and subjects, but all focusing on the natural world and artists' interaction with that. This exhibit features a number of different mediums, from quilts to photography, painting, sculpture, so many different mediums, in some ways mirroring the vastness of nature as well. Force of Nature features artists from across the country as well as one artist from Canada. We have a good mix of about 50-50 in this particular show of artists who are from the local area. We love to support artists who are from our community. We're here as a community organization, and so we love to be able to show off the work that our neighbors and friends are doing. The theme Force of Nature allows us to incorporate any number of subjects, from waterfalls to man-made structures in nature to wildlife and animals. So we see just quite a number of natural events occurring in the artwork here. Mankind has always grappled with the natural world. It's the world we live in, and artists have constantly tried to work their way through their relationship with nature. And so we see art portrayed as terrifying, we see art portrayed as beautiful, even comforting, but also broken and sad. So there are a range of emotions available to us in the natural world, pictured here in the artwork in our gallery. So this is a fantastic exploration of both the terrifying power of nature as well as the subtle and gentle beauty of the natural world that we live in. This exhibit runs through October 28th, and for more information, you can visit our website at www.webster-arts.org.
HEC Media, supporting and promoting the arts. Check out our features and shows on theater, dance, music, the visual arts, and more. Find this and all our award-winning content at hecmedia.org.
You can find the stories featured in today's show along with past episodes and more at hecmedia.org/spotlight.
Well, this is perfect. Let's get hyped.
All right, are you ready? Okay.
Go for it.
And we are rolling. Hey, what'd you say?
I look over there.
Yeah, you did. Who's your favorite?
I'm Derek Baker. I am the TikTok champ. I was hoping we'd see it.
Derek Baker is a TikTok star. What makes Derek different, though, is he also has Down syndrome. That difference is touching hearts and changing minds.
Yeah!
He's hilarious for how much we enjoy Derek and our friends and family enjoy Derek. Like, it just made sense that the world would enjoy him too.
That's funny, Derek.
That's Derek's younger sister, Katie. She and her sister, Jenna, launched Baker Banter on March 21st of 2020, which just also happens to be World Down Syndrome Day.
I called Katie and I was like, this is it. Like, Derek's always wanted this YouTube channel. Let's make a YouTube channel. And her being the Gen Zer that she is, was like, well, if you want to be on YouTube, you got to be on TikTok. And I was like, okay, what's TikTok?
Into the thick of it. We wanted to spread that acceptance, spread like the word on what Down syndrome is. And Derek has shown me that people with Down syndrome can be incredible and can be intelligent and can be witty and funny and smart. And we've just been opening eyes, and I think that's a really good blessing for our family.
Joe's on it. Yeah!
I love you, buddy.
I'm a tear right now. It's been a whirlwind when I'm starting this. It's really awesome. Put myself out there, and here I am. I talk about it. Baker Banter is part of the life. Those people around the world knows my name, like United States, United Kingdom, Australia,
New Zealand. We got a package from Pakistan once.
Everywhere.
Oh my goodness, you guys have delivered.
And on his birthday this year, Derek received cards from all across the nation and 22 other countries.
Oh my goodness.
I think that we've touched a lot of people's lives And I think that, the whole goal, at least for me, to support the platform that the kids have created is that we're trying to show the world that people with Down syndrome are more like them than they are different.
All right, bud. Let's move.
Go.
You got your phone?
Phone, wallet.
Check. All right, get in. Let's go.
Go.
At 24 years old, like his peers, Derek has a job. He works at Pioneer Bakery in Kirkwood.
It's been real whirlwind. I can't wait for the future holes.
We're not dipping smiley face cookies today. We're doing the gooey butter.
I enjoy working in the front of the house. The front of the house is meaning the new people walks in. Like for example, welcome to Pioneer.
My goal is that people embrace Derek, and then that, love, if you will, that they have for Derek online resonates to the kid in their classroom or the person who works in the grocery store that maybe is a little bit different.
Your total meal is $26.22.
Perfect. Derek empowered us 24 years ago. Our whole world changed when Derek came, and at 5 days old, we got the diagnosis of Down syndrome. My sister said to me was, Val, I don't know how to make you feel better today, but I know that little boy is gonna heal your broken heart. And he did, and he does every day. And now, because of social media and TikTok and YouTube, we have a platform to just show it to everybody else.
Did you even know what TikTok was when this all started?
No. No.
I did.
I'm still not that sure.
That feels good for me to hit the ball, make it to first base, second base, touchdown.
Derek's first love, however, is the WWE. He follows them and recently found out.
No way. No freaking way. They actually found Bacon Banner?
People come in to see him, they don't come in to see me, right? They come from all over the country.
Derek gives people a glimpse into the world of a person with Down syndrome, and he is awesome.
Hey, Jen, and I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, keep making me famous. I'm loving it.
Peace.
Love you.
Peace.
Next week, a preview of the fall-winter exhibits at the Contemporary Art Museum, plus the living history of St. Genevieve. Thanks for watching Spotlight. Join us next Sunday at 9:30 a.m. on KPLR 11.